Horsemanship. All of a sudden out of the blue I got emails about the same thing, and well, I'm fixing to show you, and I've showed a little bit in the past. This is only for the hard to bit horses. I mean, it's worst case scenarios. And I've been, like I started saying, I get all of a sudden get a lot of emails about horses rearing up and doing this and that. They can't get bit. And of course, some goody two-shoe type people is going to say, well, just put honey on the bit. Well, that works fine and dandy. You have to get the bit in the horse's mouth to taste the honey. You know, some of this easy goody two-shoes, softy ways, well, if you can't get the bit in the horse's mouth, how they going to, like I said, how are they going to taste the honey? And to me, a horse that's rearing and throwing their head when you try to bit them up is dangerous. And it doesn't mean, you know, a lot of times it starts because they got wolf teeth in the way of the bit, or you're jerking the bit out, or in Tuxedo's case is none of the above. He just figured out what the bit was. So it's more of a behavioral problem. So what I do, I tie 2 loops in my baling twine. I'm going to run my baling twine through here. Now when I put it on his head, I'm going to have this loop fixed so the loop is running up and then coming back down. Like I said, I've showed this before. I'm going to put over his ears. And right there under that top gum. Now I'm going to hook a lead line on this end just so I got enough rope here. Now before I start messing with the bit, I'm going to put my hand on top of his pole. I'm going to push down with my hand and at the same time pull my string. He gives to it. I'm going to take the pressure off. I'm going to do it again. Right there he's pulling up. But you know, when he does the right thing, you reward him. Let me come in here and hand me that bridle. He's had this done to him a couple of times, and as usual, I should have filmed it the first time. Right there, I put my hand on a pole and pull on the string, and eventually I'm just going to put my hand like right there. Just use my fingertips, and you should drop that head. That's where we start. Now with him coming down easy, now I'm going to go for the bit. Now I've seen run into this with a lot of people. This is, I doubt it's going to show up in camera, but I am going to put my fingers on the inside of the bit.
I can zoom in, right?
Yes. I'm going to put my fingers and all on the inside of this bit, so I can control. I'm going to put my outside, use that right side of my headstall to control his head. Right there, he lifts his head up. I'm going to pull it back down. And the first time, you got to be careful because they're going to pull on this until they figure it out. This is for the worst case scenarios. Now right there, he tried to pull his head up. When I just let it drop out of his mouth, I see a lot of y'all pull that bit out of their mouth, let it drop. Now right there, I'm going to use that outside again. And I'm going to stand on it this time, so I've got my hands free. This isn't easy. He backs up, I'm going to put some pressure on it. And like I said, just let it drop. Like right now, all I'm doing is I'm pulling a little bit, He opens his mouth and I'm going to slip the bit in. But if you notice my head stall, I'm going to say it again, so on this side of his face. Don't try to have everything up here, and get your hand above his ears. Good boy. I'm going to drop it. Now I'm going to go back and do it the way I normally would do it. Got my foot on there, so if his head gets out of position, he's going to correct himself. You know, first few times they're liable to go back, but if he rears up, you can pull him forward, and yes, it's going to make him uncomfortable. But that's the whole thing. If they do the right thing, they're not going to be uncomfortable. But, you know, for you goody two-shoes out there, it's going to think, but a poor little horsey, well, when he rears up and slams you in the face or the back, the horse is not going to say, poor little person, I'm sorry I just nailed you. Now where's my damn carrot? You know, it cut dry of it. So it's just being repetitive, and the same thing, it's pressure and release. He does the right thing, the pressure is off of him. Now release that pressure. Like I said, I should have filmed this the first time with him. But this is like I reiterate, this is for the worst case scenarios. But always do your prep work first. You know, let them know what it's about. Because it's not going to be fair to him, you just do this and throw a bit in his mouth. So I'm going to go back over it again. When you first do this, put your hand up here, push down a little bit first, and then pull and pressure. He gives to it, you release. Bring his head back up. I'm going to use my hand first. You don't. Then I'm going to pull. I'm going to use my fingertips first. And I'm not going to wait a couple seconds. If I start putting pressure and he don't react, then I'm going to go right to the pulling. There. Now that time's all my fingertips. But, you know, y'all just, another tidbit in there I just thought about. If you look at my arm, I'm using my whole forearm. I'm not just using my hand. For that being, I can control that head a little bit better. Right there, he backed off a little bit, so I'm going to put some pressure. Then walk forward, right where we started at. So do that prep work first, and then introduce the bit. Or if you want to take it once more prep work, you can get here with your thumb and start playing with his mouth. So that way you don't have to deal with the bit, and then you go to the bit after they're comfortable with it. But I want to say it again, because safety is always first with horses. This is for the worst case scenarios. It's pretty simple, and if you do it right, they'll learn to take that bit pretty quick, and you know, help them keep them ground. And you know, if you try to do it the other way and the horse keeps rearing up or going forward, that's going to escalate, because they're going to win, because we cannot muscle them through. They're bigger than we are, and plus you got a chance of getting hurt. And plus you're setting their mindset up for down the road. You know, you're telling this horse that every time it doesn't want to do something, it can react a certain way and it's going to win. So this is just one of them little things. You get in there, nip it in the butt before it starts, before it escalates. So I hope y'all got this one. It's be nice, short, and sweet, because it is nice, short, and sweet. So as I say, be true to the horse, they'll be true to you. First and foremost, be true to yourself. You got to. You're right, Tux. And Tux, see, Tux loves me, even after that. But anyway, to my kids, my family, a special person out there, watch Lake, Katie, God bless, take care.